Hey y'all, hey, can y'all hear me? How y'all doing today? Welcome to Let's Chat Live. Welcome to Let's Chat Live, y'all. Yes. Welcome, 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 y'all. So we got a good show today for y'all. We have a good show for y'all today. I'm excited. Don't worry, T is on her way. She's finishing up a few things. Listen, let's talk about this August Alsina. Child, yes. You saw that? I saw that. We saw it, right? We saw that thing. Okay. So I want to talk about that. I absolutely want to talk about that. How y'all doing today? What are y'all thoughts about that? Do y'all think he was out of pocket? Because me personally, I feel that he was. I don't feel that, what was the purpose of you talking about it? It's freezing? Okay. Let me see. Let's see what we could do to clean this here up. Is it still freezing? Goodness. Is it still freezing? All right, so let's see what we got going on. All right, so is it still freezing, Teresa? Hey, y'all, hey. How y'all doing? All right, so is it still freezing, Teresa? Hey, y'all, hey. All right. Is it still freezing? Let me see some responses so I know if it's still freezing or not. Hey, Ellen Frank, how you doing? Hey, Herbert Stokes, how you doing? All right, so we're talking about it. We're talking about before our guest comes in. You know, we always have to have a little something to talk about. And this show, we're going to talk about, do you think August Alsina was out of pocket for his interview with Angela Yee? What do y'all think? Did y'all see the interview? Did y'all see that interview?
Hey, Leash.
Hey, see? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So our Let's Chat question is, do you think August Alsina was out of pocket? Did you see that video? The interview he did with Angela Yee?
No.
Okay. So let me catch you up. Okay. So August Alsina is an artist. He's a singer. And he did an interview and he was talking about a relationship that he had with Jada Pinkett. And and he talked about how he talked to Will and Will was told him that he was okay with it. You know, they had a talk, and then he was like, "But I really love these people, yada yada yada." And I'm thinking to myself, well, why are you having an interview about this whole topic? Because you got a new album coming out? I'm just saying. What y'all think? What you think, T?
I think I done got become the invisible woman because I don't see me on the screen. Do you see me?
Okay, so change. Okay, so sorry, y'all. We having technical difficulties. So we're gonna go to settings. Go to your screen.
Right.
Make that blue.
Make it blue?
Yeah, your screen, is it green or blue?
It's green.
Okay, so leave it green, and you see where it says fade?
Right.
You want to move that until you see yourself the other way.
It's not picking up my green screen.
Did you put green at the bottom?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are you in a well-lit area?
Huh?
Are you in a well-lit area?
Let me put some more light on.
There you go.
You see it now?
Yeah. Okay, no, a little more. A little better. It could be the light.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, there it is. That better? I can see me now.
You look so pretty today, T.
Thank you.
You got to do it again because you fade now. Yep. Right there is good.
Okay.
Okay. So, sorry, y'all. We had technical difficulties. We had to get some teamwork going so that we can handle that. Now, we can't particularly see who is on the live, so you're going to have to hit the comments on the bottom so that we can shout you out and be able to see you. So, T, what do you think? Do you think he should have done that interview in the manner that he did? Now, I understand that he always says he talked about having depression issues and kind of mental illness, which is really serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel that, and you can tell in the interview that emotionally it was really hard for him. I just have a hard time him using that, having an emotional response. You know what I'm saying? When you're supposed to be about business.
Right. I think he did it, first of all, because he does have new music coming out. But I don't think that, because that whole Will Jada thing, it dies down and it only comes up when someone else benefits from it. You know, as far as them having an open relationship and they doing this, or they seeing this person, or they're seeing that person. But being that he has new music coming up, he wants to give eyes and legs to his new music.
Right.
And what better way to do it than talk about Jada and Will Smith?
Because it's being talked about, right? He's like, well, I never said anything and I lost this from it. No, you did not. You know, but now you have people that are having mixed feelings. Some people feel like, you know, he should have talked about it. First of all, Jada said in an interview a couple of years ago, she was like, me and Will do whatever we want to do.
Right.
Because we trust each other and we are grown, basically.
Right.
You know, we are in a marriage, but we're grown. That's why when they started the whole partnership thing, that was really them saying that our marriage had come to such a level where it's beyond a marriage. We in this thing, no matter what, who, what, when, where, right? And I just feel that even though he says he walked away, maybe she walked away, whatever the case may be,
right?
You got to be business about it. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a new music coming out, you needed to have some buzz around you. That's the buzz you wanted to create. I disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because their marriage is going to be whatever it's going to be. They've already established what they got.
That's
now,
true.
You know, the fact that you stepped into the situation and maybe you cannot handle it, or maybe you thought or wanted something different. I don't know the details.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that interview that I saw with Angela Yee. No, sir. And
no.
I will not be buying your music.
No, I don't agree with that, because then you're bringing in a whole different type of, that's karma as well.
Yeah.
That can come back at you, but you're bringing in a whole nother element that has nothing to do with your music.
Right.
Basically.
Like if you've been dating her for so long, right? That's what he said.
Right.
You've been dating her for so long. Why now?
True. And that's been a while since they were supposedly together.
So why not? You see what I'm saying? Why not?
Right.
No, sir. I will not be buying your music.
I agree. But I don't want to be known on the strength of me.
Right.
If your music is all of that, then it should speak for itself. As we say on here, Let's Chat, a book develops legs because it's good. Your music should be put out there because it's good.
Absolutely. However, when you have a brand, you have to protect that brand at all costs. And you have to protect the things that surround your brand, because some of that can take the things that you are doing. Like even in the literary world where they have beefs here and there. Don't comment. We don't comment. We don't have no comment, no nothing, no question, no nothing, because we can't attach that type of thing to a brand. And like you said, when it's messy, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And then when that bandwagon slow down and folks start jumping off, it's just you looking bad. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for real.
Tip for one instead of,
Exactly. And you have to protect your brand. And I understand that you were hurt in a relationship. We have all been hurt. But listen, you don't make business moves under emotional distress. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't make business moves under emotional distress because you don't want to do something, say something, or move in a way that taints your brand. Just like people around you. You have to be careful who you have attached to your brand and who you have around you.
Right.
You have to, because they can make it look bad. They can taint it just by the things that they're doing. And it frustrates me because I see all these artists. They be on live all day, every day. And I'm like, where is their PR people? Like, where is their person? You know what I'm saying? Who is your person that taps you on the shoulder and says, we're not going to do this? You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying you can't do or say what you want. You absolutely can. But I'm here to help you protect your brand.
Right.
And in that, don't put that out. That's gonna cause a problem. Don't put that out. That's not gonna work.
And once it's out, it stays out, Lissha. You may be pick someone that you may have a new prospect that's seeing that for the first time, and that could be a total turn off.
Absolutely, because now you've opened yourself up. Some people may feel a way about you having a relationship with a married woman. Some people may feel a way about you having an interview. Some people may, now you've opened up all this extra stuff. When you've been keeping your mouth shut, continue to keep your mouth shut and talk about your music. You got new music coming out, talk about that. Even if you want to talk about the emotional side of your life, you can absolutely do that. But don't do it in a way that's messy. That's just my opinion. I'm just saying. What y'all think?
But then also, Lissha, the interview became all about Jada, Will, and him, and not about his music. So you've already taken the spotlight off of
your music.
It could have been you and your music taking the spotlight off of that.
Right. Absolutely. And so we're talking about it today. I really feel that he was out of pocket. Some people don't, which is cool. I don't feel that he should have done that interview at all. I think that if he wants to do something emotional, then do something about mental illness. Do something about
because that's key right now. A lot of people are going through that, especially with this pandemic. And you have some people in the sports world, music world, all across the board talking about that mental illness because it's real. And a lot of people need to know that they're not in that boat alone.
Exactly, and that people understand. But when you take that and you use it in the way and manner I believe he's using it, that makes it hard on other people. Hey, Michelle Turner, how are you? Welcome to Let's Chat Live. I just feel that He should not have.
Mm-hmm.
He should not have.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. And if you were hurt over Jada, you ain't getting it back now.
That boat has sailed.
Right. That boat has sailed. She's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she would have thought about it, she's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And she has a lot. Her brand is big. Her and both Will Smith, their brand is big. So they have a lot of people that are in their corner, not necessarily for their lifestyle, but they have a lot of people. Their reach is wide, you know. So you could have very well just lessen your hold on whatever community that you may have, and just by the fact that you're talking about something that should be irrelevant as to your new music. Make them want to click that new music. Don't make them want to click onto a rag magazine and find out what's going on about you.
Absolutely. And you haven't been saying anything, so now you are. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of productive of what you really want to do. You need buzz. You need to tell your story. Absolutely. Tell your story the right way. You can tell your story in a way that is not messy.
Mm-hmm. A whole less messy.
Right. And then, ladies, am I lying? Men, don't get mad, but y'all about messier than we are. Y'all messy. Y'all gossip. Y'all are petty. Yup, I said it. I sure did. Don't send me no inboxes, because it's the truth.
Leash on her soapbox.
So I'm saying, why would you? It just frustrates me. Like, why would you even do that? Why would you do that interview? And who's his people? Like, who is there that's got his back? Like, who's on your team?
Right.
Where your team at? Because you need to fire them.
They're obviously off the job, literally. Off the job.
But y'all know we want to talk with y'all a little bit. We are good. We are good. Thank you for asking. We're talking that talk today. We're talking about it. August Alsina, do you think he was out of pocket? Michelle Turner, what you think?
Did she say what she think? Was she on your page, Leash?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think August Alsina was out of pocket for his interview with Michelle? Did you see it? I'm waiting for her to respond. But yeah, child, listen. Nobody got time for that.
Now that's all the buzz is about him. And instead of, like, even if his music was good, you've taken that spotlight off. Because even I was going to go check out the music, but once I saw what it was all about, what he was all about, because we love a good tune here on Let's Chat.
Absolutely. We love some good music.
Now, if you want to send over us a sample of it.
Right.
Take it.
Right. Now, if you want to send us a sample of your music, we will sample it. However, Michelle says she saw it, some of it, and she turned it off. You see what I'm saying? How people feel like, I want to see this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
I hear you, Michelle.
This is not what we want to see. If you want to talk about right, especially during the quarantine. Now, listen, this would have been a perfect time for him to talk about mental illness and his struggles with mental illness, only because during quarantine, people are stuck in certain situations.
Right.
Some they want to be in and some they don't. Some they just found out they didn't want to be in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And there's no outlet. And sometimes you have some people that are just home by themselves. And it's like, their only outlet was the outside world, and now they don't have that. Mm-hmm. And people are struggling mentally to be able to handle this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Because people are going through so much. We've been talking about it since we've had our shows on during the pandemic. A lot of people weighing in on how they're feeling and those around them. And everybody is handling this isolation differently. Mm-hmm. So you need that outlet, and sometimes people listen to music or they read a new book. But sometimes, but you gotta bring them to your brand, like what we're talking about tonight. Make them want to. Oh, I need some new music while I'm stuck here in the house.
Absolutely.
Or, no, I need a new rag magazine because I'm stuck in the house, and forget the music.
Right. And, it's just, to me, it was counterproductive. Like, Jim Jones did a video. And I'm like, shout out Jim Jones, because Jim Jones said, everything happens for a reason, basically.
Right.
And people had been in quarantine, already in the house, frustrated about money, just frustrated because we can't go nowhere. We got a pandemic. You worried about being sick. And now all of these things are happening. He said if people were at their 9 to 5, it would not have happened. The protests would not have happened the way they did. Because people would have been distracted with work, but now they're not. Now they have to pay attention to what's going on, and they're reacting to it. And what do you think about that, T?
I think that is on point, because there's so many eyes, not just here and where there's happening, but all around the world. I believe there were like 19 countries that were involved in this protest. That's never been done before. That's never been seen before. And all because people are home. They got their eyes on what's going on in the country, and it's affecting them, whether it be positive or negative. And it looks like it's more in the positive, because change does need to happen. That's just a given.
Reality, right?
That's reality. And as a result of that, look at some of the changes that have been made, Lissha. I get an email every day from a company that I purchase from about the changes that they're making.
And you see how fast it's happening. Like, they're passing laws, like boom, boom, boom. Every time you turn around, laws are passing. They're passing it.
Except coming from the legislative part of it, from the top up. We haven't seen an executive order signed yet.
Right.
He's still in office. But I do see something happening on the federal level.
Absolutely. Even if you think about needing to vote, a lot of states reported that like 10 times more than the people that normally voted. They registered. Like, people are out. They ready. They like, we about to make some things happen. Here in Georgia, they had the polls were wrapped around a corner in some areas. The machines, because we got new machines in the state of Georgia, so that was affected. But just the amount of people that did absentee ballots that are still being counted, like, people are really serious about getting things together and making sure that they get the right people in office, because it's not just about the presidency. You got to make sure you got Congress and Senate. You got to make sure that they right, because the electoral vote college is what determines the president. So if you don't have those right people in there, then you back at square one.
Right. And also, Lissha, I don't talk very much about my job here on this chat, because I do think that it's two different entities. But last week I was on a conference call, because, my boss is heavily into different pro bono type issues. And this is one of them. And I was on a conference call.
Her boss is a whole G. Let me tell y'all. He like G14 classified. I can't say who he is, but let me tell y'all, he a whole G all by himself.
But I was on a Zoom call with Stacey Abrams. She was the guest speaker, and one of the things that the biggest topic was voting, and she brought up what's going on in Georgia, because that's where that's who she represents. And my question to the panel was that why can't we have the same type of voting rights and issues and voting established the way non-Black and non-brown communities have? Why must the problems always lie with us? You don't see anyone else having these type of voting issues, and I put that to the panel. Well, why the discrepancy? If one works, why can't it work across the board?
Right.
I don't understand that.
I think because they were so used to us not voting for so long. You know what I'm saying? I think they were used to us not voting for so long, just like if you look at the pandemic. People are so used to us going to the doctor and the doctor telling us what's wrong. Now, people are researching, and not because they're scared to go to the doctor. Like, listen, you sick? Oh, you ain't that sick? Okay, because they got real sick people there, and we can't go there. I'm just saying, you sick, your kids, my stomach hurt. Does it hurt a little or a lot? Let's see what we can do to work this here thing out so that we don't have to go to the doctor's office, because then you're concerned about, did y'all clean up everything? Did y'all steam clean the carpet? Did y'all wipe down the walls? I mean, are y'all washing your hands with soap and water, or are you just using sanitizer? But these are all these concerns because we're paranoid about health now.
Exactly.
When it was just a time where the doctor told you what was wrong. Not everybody is holistic. They need to go see a holistic doctor. They want to know natural ways to heal their body, natural ways to take care of themselves. The dentist office, people are learning proper ways to brush, like brush your teeth in reverse, gargle first. Don't gargle after you brush your teeth, but people are learning healthy ways to take care of themselves, better ways, because we were so dependent on somebody else to take care of us.
Right. And also you want to, during these times, you want to go into the hospital and be able to come back out, better than you went in. You don't want to go in and stay in. That's not something and that's another fear, that people don't want to go to the hospital because they may not come back home.
Right. And then, or their children, or they might come home with something they didn't really want. I mean, it's unfortunate that we feel this way. It was a thing on TikTok where the lady was in labor and she called the hospital, and the hospital gave her all kinds of directions on what to do before she could go in and have a baby. So she was like, okay, absolutely. Okay, I'm on my way. And so she tells her husband, no, honey, it's a false alarm. And then she's like, Google, can you tell me how to have a home birth? It's like, people are like, listen, I can work it out myself. Let me take care of that thing myself. Because I can't trust going to the doctor. I'm sorry. If I don't have to, I'm not going. If I'm not, really going through, I'm not going. No, thank you. Absolutely not. But we off our soapbox. T, go ahead on and open us up.
Well, welcome everybody. This is Live Thursdays here on Let's Chat. And just to give you guys a little synopsis of what Lissha and I do here on Let's Chat. And now we do it on Live Thursdays. But we first started out celebrating literature because Lissha and I are readers first and foremost. And we all love a good book. But we used to do it in the royal way. Now we not only celebrate literature, but we celebrate all walks and all arts. Everything from music, books, NBA, sports, political. We were on our political soapbox tonight.
We don't do that often, right?
Right, but we celebrate it all, and we do it in a royal way, no matter what it is. And we allow our listening audience, as well as Lissha and I and our guests, to interact in the fun, intimate, and friendly environment. We get to hear the passion because y'all know it gets passionate up in the chat room with Lissha and I. In here. But we love doing it because you never know who's listening. Like right now, we never know who's listening and who can be touched by what it is that we're talking about. We try to keep it in a neutral, fun, and interesting. Just check out our archives. We have so many guests that have shared jewels with us.
Absolutely.
In our archives. So check them out. And thanks again for joining us. For everyone new, welcome. Get ready for a great Thursday evening, pre-4th of July.
Listen, speaking of our archives, so T and our archives will not only be able to be seen on YouTube, Blog Talk, iTunes, or in iHeartRadio. But you can actually, starting next Friday, you'll be able to watch the replay of Let's Chat Live on Ebony, EBNY TV, pronounced Ebony TV, www.tmtc.com. You'll be able to see our live starting next Friday. We'll be on a additional platform. And so we're really excited that we have a whole nother platform and viewership that we'll be able to interact with. Right now, it's just our replays. Eventually, you'll be able to see us live when we broadcast our lives as well. But we're excited to join.
Give that link again, Lissha, so they go and they log on to the link.
It's actually at the bottom. It's scrolling across the bottom.
Okay. There it is. I see.
Yes.
Just for those that are tuning in, y'all, I want to get a good close up in person. Y'all see the color of this face? Y'all see this? Don't look for me to be any darker because Leash has a sister working to the first snowstorm. I'm just saying.
Listen. So our shows are so top heavy. I have to let T know. I'm like, T, I'm sorry. I know our shows are top heavy because we try to make sure we have content for the channel that we're gonna have. And she was like, "You got me working through the summer." Literally.
No tan lines. Y'all see this? I'm gonna put some bronzer on like I've been sitting outside. But let me tell you, we got shows up until our first snowstorm. I'm just saying.
But y'all, we do. We have the BAM Black Authors Matters tour. We're doing media interviews with the authors on that tour, so you'll see them. We have about 30 other authors that will be coming in from a publishing company, so I'm excited about that. We have just shows, child. Listen, do y'all watch The Oval? We got Travis Cure. Yes, he will be here on the 9th, y'all. Mm-hmm.
That's next Thursday. Next Thursday. We got a good show next Thursday, Lee. She's also going to have the wonderful and beautiful Miss Christy Lux. I'm trying to get that glare off my forehead. That may be the only color I have. Y'all see, I might just leave it there.
Listen, Tia's like, we got a lot going on.
I'm just saying, that'd be my summer tan right there.
Yeah. And we have Mikey J, I'm sorry. He'll be on talking about his new music, his new project, his new movie. So I'm excited. We have a fabulous July, y'all. July and August is about to be jam-packed. The ladies of Let's Chat. So if you want to be a guest on Let's Chat, make sure you send your request to the chatradio show@gmail.com so that we can get you on. You're looking at August or September. But we got our first fabulous guest. He's coming to kick it here in the chat room, representing the Black Authors Matters tour, Dr. Calvin Ellison. Welcome.
Well, hello. It's a pleasure to be with you all.
Well, thanks for joining us, Dr. Ellison.
Well, I'm pleasured. You all have been kicking it already.
Yes, we have.
So we welcome you. Now I know you haven't been on the chat room before, so we want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your literary journey.
My girlfriend of 38 years and I, or 37 and a half years and I, we just recently moved from North Carolina. We were in North Carolina for all of our lives. We moved here to Stone Mountain, Georgia. In North Carolina, we pastored a church, ran a nonprofit, worked with colleges and universities from what we did in the health space. I love people. I love networking, bringing people together, and empowering people to be the best version of themselves.
That can't beat that.
I don't want to be the same today that I was last year.
Right.
So I'm on a journey to constantly better myself and inspire and motivate other people to do likewise. And we do it through various means. And the book writing is one of those key means through which we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I like what you said. You don't want to be the same person you were yesterday. Change is a necessity. It's inevitable, but it's a must. We have to change to be able to evolve. And if you're with somebody that's exactly the same as they were yesterday, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
So tell us about your books. Because you have quite a few books that not just cater to females. Because, most of the time, if you look even for memes, lives, everybody is catering to the woman and what she should do and how she should be. But you reversed it. You focus on men and what they should do to help themselves. Tell us a little bit about the works you have.
Well, I think I want to start with the one that is like the launching pad for most of the other ones. And that first one is the Beyond Your Comfort Zones. Let me make sure I get it right here. beyond your your comfort zones, how to realize your fuller potential. I think that is the launching pad for all the other ones. And this one, I come from this concept. We are all here on this planet to be, to do, and I believe to have.
Right.
To be, to do, and to have. But in order for me to be, I must keep becoming, because in my immature state, I'm not ready to handle things that mature people should be handling. And so the comfort zone book is one that causes us to look at, what am I doing? Am I in a place that I have outgrown? Am I in a place of such ease to where I don't want to be challenged, or I don't want to? I like the lyrics of Star Trek. Star Trek. These are the voyages of the starship. Come on now. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. To boldly go where Calvin Ellison has not
Never
gone
go
before.
before. You better talk that talk. Talk that talk. And it's important though. I'm glad that you wrote that book, because we have to start being intentional about the things that we do. You know, a lot of times people want to do what they want to do and say what they want to say, but you have to understand your why. And a lot of times we don't ask ourselves why.
Right.
Like, you upset? Why am I upset? Because a lot of times that emotion is mixed with ego. And I think if we added why to questioning our intent by the things that we do, we will understand that some of that is ego, and we got to check ourselves in the process to get over whatever has hurt us.
So true. So true. Progressive-minded people don't want to stay in the same place. You know, we call it in the place of stuck. But oftentimes the place of stuck is nurtured by our usual, our normal, what we've been accustomed to, that we have to let go and step out of the comfort zone, that safe place, that place of ease, that place that I've known for so many years. I know all the people, I know all the roads, I know the information, but the better Calvin Ellison, the better us does not emerge unless I dare to come out of that place that once nurtured me to a certain point. I love using the analogy of the womb, the baby in the womb. There's nothing wrong with the baby. There's nothing wrong with the womb. The problem comes in when the baby wants to stay in there longer than the term for growth and development. And that baby can be all of us. That baby can be our personal lives. That baby can be our relationship. We've got to come out of the wombs or the comfort zones if we're going to be that better person, become that better version. So that's what Beyond Your Comfort Zones is all about. Hey, let's step out, because true growth really takes place outside the comfort zone. We spend most of our lives in the adult stage. But unless I come out of the embryonic stage and beyond the teenage stage, then, you know, those comfortable places, you know, where somebody else usually is doing the stuff for us, cooking the meals, bringing the food in. But when you step out of the comfort zones, then, you know, depending on the situation, then you start preparing that food. You get to understand what Daddy and Mama was talking about, because now you're out of the comfort zone of their environment, and you have to step out there in the unknown and create your own environment. But that's a good thing. Because when I step out of the comfort zone of what somebody else has been doing for me for years, then those creative juices start flowing. Now you're really getting ready to live life.
Absolutely. And you know, a lot of times as you step out of that comfort zone, we find that we become attached to our pain. We become attached to our situation. We become emotionally dependent on others in the situation, and it causes you to stay stagnant as well. Talk a little bit about that, Dr. Ellison.
Oh, that's a big one, because if there's anything, Lissha, that keeps us in the comfort zone, the emotions do. Yeah, we have to really be watchful for that. I can tell the times when I would squall and bawl because I wanted to stay in a particular comfort zone, and I look back at it and I can say, well, you know what? You were really emotionally tied to that individual, tied to that place, tied to that episode in your life, and you were anchored predominantly because of your emotions. Because your emotions, they play a big role in the decisions that we make. But we can get past that emotional state. And that is one of those comfort zones, the emotional state.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there are others, of course, but that emotional state is one of those big areas that anchor us oftentimes to a place that we have outgrown.
I love it.
I want to add something to what you were saying, and Dr. Ellison. We also become acceptive of what we're going through. We have to go through it because we're going through it, and not try to figure out a way to help ourselves. And figure out that there's a better way. You don't necessarily have to go through it, and you don't necessarily have to accept it. But you got to know within yourself that I don't have to feel this way. I don't have to go through that. I can find someone or something to help me. You have to have to know that there's help out there.
That's so true. It's amazing. I love the story of the eagles. And the eagle, the mother eagle has a way of helping that eaglet get out there. She makes the nest uncomfortable. We need people around us that can help make the nest uncomfortable. Or people who can look into us and hear our heartbeat through certain things that we say, and look at us and say, you know what? It sounds to me like you've outgrown a certain area of life. And they start speaking into our world and letting us know maybe it's time for you to make a change. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it's time for you to look at a new venture or go to a new place. I got family members, and some of them never stepped outside of the county, hardly ever.
Right.
You may have people like that in your world as well. They stay in the same geography. Don't venture out. Don't step out. But we've got to do that if we're going to grow.
There's a whole world out there.
That's right. That's waiting on us. Think about, again, if the baby stayed in the womb, look at the world that the baby will be missing out on.
And what we would be missing out on.
Come on. But we would be missing out on the gifts, the talents, the abilities, the purpose of that baby that's still in the womb. Now, I know we're saying right now the embryo baby, but oftentimes we're like that as grown-ups too.
That's true.
What is the world missing out on because I'm so comfortable in my comfort zone?
That's right.
So true.
That's right. And so after you wrote that book, you wrote a series about manifestation and talking to men and speaking to them. Tell us about that process. What was that like for you? And why did you feel that it was a necessity for you to step out and push that through your voice of your pen?
Well, I had my training ground when I was in North Carolina for what I'm doing now. I'm a believer that where I'm going tomorrow, there's something in my life that's projecting that tomorrow already. So what I'm doing now, I really started doing it a little bit when I was back in somewhat quite a bit when I was in North Carolina, but now it's taken on a new shape. And it really started, Lissha and Toni, with myself. I wasn't raised with my father. So there were some things in my upbringing that I didn't have for a while until I got around people who put on display that thing like, wait a minute, that's me. Reminds me of, and I'll stick with sports somewhat, reminds me of a story I heard of a young lion cub. He was captured, he was caught because he got separated from the pride. And so he was raised like the rest of the farm animals because the farmer got him and put him among the rest of the farm animals. So he walked among the chickens and the ducks and the pigs and the cows. He didn't know he was a king. He didn't know he was a lion. And so until one day, after several visits to a river, he kept hearing, like the rest of the farm animals, this noise coming from the other side of the river. And it terrified the cub and all the other farm animals. Day after day, when they would go to the river, led by the farmer to drink water and so forth. This noise,
Love
and
it.
it was terrifying the cub and all the rest of the farm animals until one day he was led out there with the rest of the farm animals, and he
Mhm.
happens to look into the water and sees what he looks like. And he
Mm.
looks at that beast on the other side of the river. That beast looked like him. And
Mm.
he's like, wait a minute, this noise is coming from a beast that looks like him. So he starts identifying himself in what he saw in that beast. Long story short, he eventually left the farm animals and went and joined that beast that had in a mature state what he saw in his embryonic state. And lo and behold, what was in that big beast that was really in him as well started to come out.
Mm.
So I
Wow.
said that to say there was some stuff in me that I saw in the beast that had grown up. But I said, I need that because my father wasn't there for me to get it from him.
Mhm.
So that
Absolutely.
passion began to grow in me as the years went past to empower every man I could get in my world. So
Mhm.
this is where the
Absolutely.
books
Mhm.
began to come from, and they didn't come forth until I first of all stepped out of my comfort zone. All
Mhm.
right. And
Mhm.
then after I stepped out of my comfort zone, the next books that began to come forth, and this is volume one of, let me get it right here, volume one of Men Magnifying Manhood. This book
Mhm.
came, uh, this book came forth after I stepped out of my comfort zone. And we didn't stop there, and we came up with volume two. I'll put it
Mhm.
on this side. All right, of men, Tony, of men magnifying manhood. And what I did when I was getting ready to write these books, I felt the inspiration from God to include other men in the book
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
can tell about their lives. So each one
Mhm.
of these books has at least 12 different contributing writers. I was going to write it at first myself, but I
Right.
felt
Uh-huh.
the inspiration. No, give others the opportunity to share their story to give hope, empowerment, and guidance to the reader. You
Mhm.
know, and of course, as you mentioned there, Lissha, we went after the men because only an empowered man can empower his world.
That's right.
And
Mhm.
we have the responsibility as men to take the lead. I believe to be responsible, if we say that we are the leaders, and how we men love to do it, we are the head and all that stuff,
Mhm.
then let's show it.
And
Let's
that's
show it
right.
in the
Right.
way we treat our wives, our mothers, girlfriends, because good leadership does not suppress, it promotes. We
Mhm.
wanted to start with the men to say, hey, we got to take the lead in cleaning up a lot of stuff as to why wives can't get along with husbands, boyfriends can't get along with girlfriends, can't get along with boyfriends. There's a lot of stuff we need to clean up. So we went after the men.
But you know what,
Absolutely.
Dr. Ellison, I love the metaphor that you share with the lion because not only men, but those that grow up become what's around them as they grow. That's
Mhm.
the only thing that they know. So until they see someone that represents them, they don't know the strength within themselves. You know, so if the cub grew up around chickens, he's gonna act like a chicken. He's not gonna
Mhm.
That's
show
right.
that pride, that
Yeah.
roar. You know,
Mhm.
so you are the environment that you
Yes.
grow up in. And
Yeah.
until you know better, you can't do better.
That is,
Absolutely.
that is so true. And particularly when we look at now in the atmosphere that we're in with what's been happening with, unfortunately, our African American men, our black men,
Mhm.
and then you're looking deeper into the world of the average black man, particularly if he doesn't have that roar, that lion, that model out there in front of him,
Mhm.
he'll tend to go in all types of directions. This is why we have a focus to empower men in the area like that cub, Tony. That
Mhm.
cub needed identity. He
Right.
found out somebody who identified with him. So we're on a
Mhm.
mission to empower men in the areas of identity, purpose, understanding the right role and response, or how to carry out our roles, and
Mhm.
responsibilities,
Mhm.
and how to be a more productive individual in
Right.
his space.
Absolutely.
Those are the four things that we're really after.
And
Mhm.
I want to also touch on the fact that, a lot of times we're very mindful about how we speak to other people, how we treat other people, and we're less mindful about how we speak and treat ourselves. And that we have to speak into our own life. We get so used to other people speaking into us, other people praying for us, other people encouraging us. We have to be able to do those things for ourselves, because people can't give you happiness. That's something that you have to do for yourself. And if you see that you're in a state and you're in a place of unhappiness, don't try to fix the people around you. You need to fix yourself. Because, it's some things in you that need to be fixed. Beyonce did the song talking about upgrade. Upgrade yourself. Whatever it is that you see in you that you do not like, that you don't you cannot bind with, you cannot feel upon. If there's something you feel about yourself that needs to be changed, then you change it. If you don't like your weight, lose weight. If you don't like your credit, fix your credit. If you don't like your job, then you need to either go to a new job, give yourself skills, go back to school, do something to put yourself in position. Talk a little bit about that when it comes to men, how important it is for them to feel like they have established themselves.
Well, that's
go ahead.
That's extremely important, because doing comes out of being. If I don't feel good about myself, in other words, I tend to produce according to the self-image, that self-talk that I have on a regular basis. It's extremely important that a man has that sense of awareness of who he is and build that self-confidence, because the reality is I can't give away what I'm not. Or I'm going to give away, I'm going to dispense what I am. So if I lack confidence, if I lack a sense of direction and vision, well, that's what I'm going to pour into the world of the spheres of influence that I'm engaged in.
Right.
So it's extremely important. And this is why every Tuesday night we have a man magnifying manhood empowerment call and Zoom, so that men can have that campfire or that conference room time, or that environment to where they can come and look in the mirror of the discussions that all of the men have the opportunity to input into. So we create that environment so we guys can come and if you would, look in the mirror and see, well, I need to make an adjustment here or an adjustment there. So we try to create that mirror. At the same time, it's a place where you can have like a Walmart time and take away what you need for your own growth and development, with the intent of this. And this is something that we share basically every Tuesday night with you guys. I tell them this: you are the star in your solar system, not me.
Nice. I like that.
Not Tony Robbins, not Bishop T.D. Jakes, not Les Brown. You are the star in your solar system. And I say this call is all about empowering you as the SUN in your solar system, your spheres of influence. We want to use this call to empower you to shine brighter as a star, as the sun, and shine further.
That's powerful.
That's powerful.
That's powerful. I just want to say, Dr. Ellison, we have people in our chat, and we have a Todd Rose in there. He says, I'm one of the authors in the book. I have to say, contributing to this book has been life-changing for him. Reading the story shared by the other 14 brothers in the book is groundbreaking experience. I love being witness to the brotherhood of manhood, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes. Todd is our VP for marketing and public relations. And he is in actually 3 of the books now. He got kind of greedy. He wanted to be in some of everything. He wanted to be Toni and Lissha. He wanted to be in everything. So he's also in another book that I wanted to mention too.
We can have Todd Rose on the show then.
Yeah, we got to get Todd on. Yeah, he's a great guy. Helps to make things happen with the movement. He handles our media stuff and we're just so proud of what he's been doing as a partner and being involved in the movement. But he's also in another book that we put together for the men have put together, and that is Men Magnifying Marriage. That is our responsibility, I believe, first and foremost, to appreciate, to celebrate, and to promote the institution of marriage. So we put together this book, Men Magnifying Marriage, another book that's emerged as a result of Calvin Ellison coming out of his comfort zone.
I love the title of that book, because that's another book that's much needed, because the institution of marriage has gotten such a stain on it. You know, some people feel that it's not necessary. It's just a paper. It's just this, but they're putting their own spin on it as to their experience. So, and especially among our youth, to see a strong marriage, to see a strong marriage that goes through troubles and still survive and persevere. So you need to see that in order to grow that. Like we were saying with the cub, you have to be around it in order to know that it's out there. So good marriages are out there. There are bad marriages, but you have to be your own sun to shine in that relationship.
And I want to piggyback off of that, T. A lot of people get married for the wrong reasons. And they don't have an understanding of what it is. And they think you get married as autopilot. Something that's just going to happen, and that's not how it happens. That's not how it works. People change. And I also believe that people don't make room for growth. They're expecting that person to stay the same and not knowing that if that person stays the same in that relationship, it's a problem. They have to change and evolve and grow. And if they are not, that relationship is not conducive to their growth. And you do have to leave those situations, whether it's an abusive situation, whether it's where you're not getting something from the situation. People talk about men, they talk about cheating, but cheating happens when change is a necessity. So at that point in time, whoever cheated needed change. So now if you don't provide the change for yourself, the other person can't give you the change. You got to give it to yourself. If you don't make that change, in business, they have a pivot. In business, when things happen, they pivot and they learn how to work with the times. They learn how to get through whatever that season is. And that's what happens when in that season you need change, whether it's you're growing and you've gone to that next level and you need to be able to cultivate that new level of your life. But I do believe that a lot of people don't know how to be married. They think that it's on autopilot and it's just going to be what it is. And that's not necessarily how it works.
No. I mean, I tell people this. We've done marriage seminars, my wife and I, since the third year of our marriage. She will make year number 38. And we've been doing marriage seminars since that third year. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. Who are we to teach about marriage? Well, we'd only been married for 3 years. But we knew that God had spoken to our hearts to do that. And we had people in our marriage seminars and what we call our love feast banquets, to where people could dress up. I mean, in their Sunday go to meeting clothes on a Friday or a Saturday evening, and they could dance. We had duets, we had skits, drama, and all of that stuff. But I tell people that marriage, there's a synonymous word to marriage, and it's WORK. Work. It's work. You got to work at it, and you got to want to be better. And this is why I love that first book so much, Beyond Your Comfort Zone, because oftentimes the husband or the wife or the both are stuck in the comfort zone of me.
That's right.
And marriage is not about me as much as it is about us. And in order for it to become the us, I got to dare to step out of the comforts of me. How I've been, I was this way before we got married. I got to let go of some of what I used to be so I can become that one, come into that oneness state of my life. And so I definitely agree with you, Lissha, that, if the two parties in the relationship doesn't grow, then the relationship doesn't grow.
Absolutely. And it's funny because T.D. Jakes, I remember him preaching, and he was like, He was saying that in a marriage, it can't all be about me. Sometimes it has to be about me, because if you don't work on you, nothing else is going to work. Nothing else is going to fit, and your relationship is not going to grow. Sorry, T, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I agree with Dr. Ellison. The key word in a marriage and in it, basically any relationship, is work. You know, I've been married 28 years in a couple of months.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And the hardest part is working through the conflicts, the disagreements, because it's never going to be all roses. You know, we're two individuals. So we're not who we were 28 years ago. We're not who we were 5 years ago. It's a constant work. And in order for it to work, you both have to want it to work as well. You know, one can't want it to work while the other one is willy-nilly doing what they want to do. So you have to come into agreement. You have to be accountable as well. And that's one word we use in this household is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our word. You have to be accountable for making it work.
Absolutely. And it's okay to grow apart, you know, because I always say relationships have a reset period. And in that reset period, that's where change happens. You got peaks and valleys, everything happens in between, but you got a reset period. And sometimes in that reset, y'all reset apart. Y'all either gonna reset together, you're gonna reset apart. But there is a reset, and you have to be able to embrace that and be able to see what it is. You know, sometimes sickness causes change. Mm-hmm. You know, so many people in this pandemic have realized, I don't want to be married, you know, but it's not like it. You just realized it today. You knew 5 years ago that it was a problem, and you didn't do anything when it needed to be reset. So now these are the ramifications of that. Go ahead, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and see, what I found out is it's not so much, it is the other person that's the challenge. It's us understanding that there are laws that govern everything. There are laws that govern the fish swimming in the ocean, the bird flying in the air. There are laws that govern relationship. And these basic laws, if both sides work them, both sides have that determination to work with the law.
That's right.
Then we'll tend to get along with one another a little bit more. And here's what I mean by that. The law of communication. Communication is the basis of life. Nothing functions. I mean, just think if the sun didn't communicate with the earth. The sun got up tomorrow morning and said, you know what, I'm not going to shine on the earth. And there was no communication from the sun to the earth. Or the plants didn't want to communicate and do their part to us as humans. So the laws, communication is the basis of life. Agreement is the power of life. So, and these are the things that we've learned and yet learning to work the law. Because if I work the law of communicate with my wife, understand or first of all, have a knowledge of what are her needs. We all have needs.
Right.
And I like to start it, and I go right back to this over and over. I like to start it with us, men. I believe it's our responsibility to take the lead. I tell the guys this. I have no right to expect my wife to submit to me. I have no right to do that if I'm not submitted myself. See, if I'm not submitted to the laws that govern the relationship, I don't have that right to go around, well, you need to submit to me. Well, who am I submitting to? Because it's not a one-way street, you know? And then, or be accountable to me. But am I being accountable to you? In other words, I don't believe that I should ask her to do something, or anybody else for that matter, to do something I'm not, first of all, willing to do myself. So we got to have the basis of life, which is communication, the agreement of life, the power of life, which is agreement, and then we got to have balance, which is the key of life. It's got to be balanced. If I'm expecting her to give the bacon, but I'm only giving an egg, that's not right. You know? So anyway, you play my music when you start talking down these lines now. I'm really excited, because my intent and my passion is to empower. With everything that's been poured into the cup of my life from life's experiences, whether it's my manhood, my marriage, or whatever, my determination is to pour into the generation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're excited. We're excited that you're part of the Black Authors Matters tour. We thank you for coming to share your time, your space, and your energy here with us on Let's Chat Live. We want you to shout out all your social media where everyone can get your books and any other events that you have with the Black Authors Matters tour.
Okay, let's start with the Black Authors tour first. Let's go there first. July the 25th, I think it's from 12 to 2, we're going to have a book signing. And some of the authors, or the contributing writers, should I say, of the book will be there. Todd Rose will be there. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Patrick Dorman. He's going to be there. He's in this other book I haven't shown to you guys yet. He's in the male empowerment. He's in the male empowerment quote book, Patrick Dorman, and also Jerome Tyler. So there are 4 of us that are going to be there July the 25th, starting at 12 o'clock, our book signing that the Black Authors Tour is putting on for us. And we're excited about that. But we can also be reached at my website at www.doctor, spelled all the way out, DOCTOR, Calvin, not Kelvin, CalvinEllison.com. So drcalvinellison.com. We also have stuff posted on our men's site as well, menmagnifyingmanhood.com. And of course, the books are out there on Amazon, and for e-readers, it's on Kindle as well. We do have every Tuesday night, so invite husbands, boyfriends, cousins, uncles, you name it. Every Tuesday night, we have our Men Magnifying Manhood Empowerment Call. Oh, it is so powerful. And we end, Toni, with the roar of a lion. Oh, yeah, we do it just like that.
I love it.
We do have ladies on, too.
Really?
Oh, yes. We're going to have you guys on to help give empowerment to us, literally. We just recently had, about 3 weeks ago, a forum, a mental health forum. We've had, I think that was the 3rd forum that we had, to where we'll have 2 people representing barbershop. Guys are going to talk at the barbershop, and two women representing the salon. So we have our barbershop salon talk when we do the forum. And I think the next forum is coming up the 2nd Tuesday night at 8:30. And we're doing it by Zoom and doing it by, by Zoom and so forth. August, the 2nd Tuesday in August at 8:30, to where we're having the barbershop salon forum again. But every Tuesday night at 8:30, usually from 8:30 to 9:15, we're having that Men Magnifying Manhood Empowerment Call. And Toni, when we say it's time to do our ritual closeout, look, they roar and they roar and they roar for a long time. Like, okay, guys, you can stop now.
I love it.
We have such a great time synergizing, sharing thoughts, and setting an atmosphere where we let our hair down, if you would, and talk. And we do it together. This is why we call it the Men Magnifying Manhood, not the Dr. Calvin Ellison, but the Men Magnifying Manhood Empowerment Call, because we want guys to be able to share.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm putting you all on the spot. All of your listening audience is listening, that you guys are going to have to come on. We're going to set a particular Tuesday night for you all to come on and speak to us as men.
Oh, we'd love to, but we want to thank Todd Rose. He has been on point, Dr. Ellison.
Yes, he got the number up there and everything.
He put the sites in, the call-in number. He is on point. Do you hear me? Thank you so much, Todd. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I got to tell the story of Todd. Todd and I met at a health store. And we got to talking there, and I introduced to him what we were getting ready to do in that. And it's like the first time we met, I think we talked for almost a half an hour. And so time went by and the book was underway to get developed. And Todd was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I said, Todd, there's no such thing as you're not going to be able to. You've got to be in the book. There are no options. He talked about that. I said, you don't have, I'm not giving you an option. You are not going to back out. And now you talk about somebody who's so glad he didn't back out. He's become a champion for the movement. And we're definitely excited about his contributions.
I love it. We so appreciate you coming to kick it with us here in the chat room. You are welcome back anytime.
Anytime.
Okay.
And let's end this show the right way. How we gonna
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Because we never did it with the ladies, so we need the lion and the lioness. Come on, let's do it. Ready? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Come on, ready? 1, 2, 3.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We so appreciate you. I can't wait to meet you throughout the journey on the Black Authors Matters tour. Thank you for all of your time. Thank you for all of your gifts that you are blessing us with. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being with you all.
Take care, Dr. Ellison.
Have a good one.
That was awesome, Leash. I love that. I love his energy.
I do too. Absolutely. And I'm glad that he was able to share that with us. And we talked about some good stuff. If you guys missed the interview, no worries. It's going to be up on our YouTube. So you'll be able to view it there. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Let's Chat. Starting next Friday, you'll be able to watch the replays of Let's Chat Live, not only on YouTube, not only on Facebook, but you'll be able to see it on Ebony TV. Website is down below, scrolling across the screen. But yes, that is our new platform. It's additional to what we have now, so our shows will be uploaded there. Eventually, when we stream here, we'll be able to stream there as well. So we're really excited for all the things that we have going on here on Let's Chat. We thank you guys for rocking with us. 6 years, you guys have been rocking with us, supporting us. We appreciate all the love we're getting. We thank Dr. Ellison for coming in here because he was talking that talk. Oh my goodness, so awesome. We're going to take a brief break. We will be right back with author and president of the NAA Simona chapter in California, Ruben Scott. He's going to be in to talk about his books, talk about his path, and just be able to talk that talk with the ladies and Let's Chat. So we'll see you guys. We will be right back.